Welcome to the Awakening with Amy Robeson live experience podcast. I'm so excited you are here. If you are joining us live, say hello. Let me know where you're tuning in from and how you're doing, how you're feeling. I'm so excited for today's show. Let me see if I can see the chat today. We are in a great time of awakening. And when we're in a great time of awakening, this can cause us to feel like we're struggling. And it can also cause confusion. If you can relate to this, let me know in the comment section if you have recently been feeling like you're struggling or there is some sort of confusion that you are experiencing. In our awakening process, we are meant to feel confused. We are meant to feel like there is something that can feel like a struggle. And I'm using that word very intentionally, meant to feel. When we feel that there is something that we are struggling with, it gives us the opportunity to have feedback. That feedback is so valuable and so crucial for our soul's evolution and awakening, because it tells us that there's something to look at here. It tells us that there is something that we can get curious about. Some people are saying yes to both of those. So here's the thing about struggle. And I sat with what we want to do for the live show today and what the theme was going to be. And if you are listening to this on the streaming podcast platforms, we're doing a live show every week. So if you'd like to join us, check out my website. You can go to theamyrobeson.com/free and check out when we are doing the next live show. Next week, we're going to do a Friday the 13th. Goddess celebration healing. I'm so excited for that. And then the following Friday, September 20th, we are going to do a fall equinox live healing as well to celebrate the change of season. So for today, I know that I announced that the theme was going to be announced on here live. And what I was receiving was that it's really important to talk about struggle and how we can befriend struggle, because so often we want to resist the struggle. We want to resist confusion. And when we resist, it persists. And so instead of resisting the struggle and resisting the confusion, you can surrender into it. So how do you surrender into confusion? One is just to admit, like, hey, I feel confused. What am I not willing to look at? Because oftentimes we're really not confused about the situation. We're just not willing to be honest with ourselves on what we really want. And when you get honest with yourself on what you really want, and you can want two opposite things. The question, if you want two opposite things, is where or what one makes the most sense for your soul's path, your destiny, and your soul's evolution. Because we will lean towards comfortability. We will lean towards what's familiar. And oftentimes, what is the most unfamiliar, what is the most uncomfortable, is the very thing that will assist us in growing. And when this happens, when you can admit to yourself, I'm confused, I'm having a hard time, I'm struggling, and you can give yourself permission to surrender, the universe, instead of gifting you more struggle and more apprehension or more confusion, the universe will start to assist you in finding the solution. The universe will start illuminating different paths that are in your divine destiny. So with that being said, if you are live on here, say hello. Let me know what how you're doing, how you're feeling, and let me know what you feel confused about or what you're struggling with the most, if that's something that you'd like to share, because I can can add on to some of the things that you share in the comments on the live today. So let me go back to this surrender piece. This is the part where it can feel like the hardest thing to do, because often most people are addicted to struggle. And it's hard to even admit that. But for me, I have known struggle my whole life. I have known chaos my whole life as well. And so I'm in a different place now where I don't have to have chaos all around me, but does my internal system, because it's so used to having chaos, want to self-sabotage to create more struggle or more chaos? So I know what's familiar? Absolutely. So let me say that slightly different. We as a society have collective norms. And there's a collective norm of struggle. There is a collective norm of chaos, and there's a collective norm of confusion. And within the collective, we can play into societal behaviors that create more of that for us. Also, your upbringing and your adult experiences in the past play into your present moment as well. And so if you are so used to having things go wrong, why wouldn't you naturally feel like something's going to go wrong? Or if you are so used to fighting your way to get to something or having something, your system is wired to expect that. So when you let go of the expectation of struggle and confusion, and I'm being guided to include chaos in this, it is a rewiring of perspective. It's a rewiring of your nervous system, and it's a rewiring of your reality. And it takes time. It takes time. Someone said, what about having too many interests and not being able to narrow it down? I try to stay in joyous mindset and stay in the vortex, like Abraham Hicks talks about. Too many things resonate. Yeah, that's it. So when too many things resonate, there's also this subconscious or possibly conscious fear that if you let go of one of the things that resonates, you're going to miss out on something. So that creates the confusion, which then also creates the struggle, which then also creates the chaos. Because if you're doing too many things all at once, it's hard to narrow down the things you should be doing. And I'm going to say that slightly different because should is a really harsh word. The things that you could be doing. And if you are so used to always doing so many things, this is going to be really hard to narrow it down to one. But it comes down to that FOMO. It comes down to the fear of missing out, or the fear of making a mistake, or the fear of getting it wrong. The question is, what is the fear? Because if you let go of something and you surrender into just allowing the universe to take care of you, you still have to take action. What does that feel like? And what would that be like to do in your life? And these are the types of questions that you can sit with, because when you sit with them in that surrender, because you often hear someone, and tell me in the chat box if this is also confusing to you, you hear someone say, just surrender. What does that actually mean? Just surrender. And so for me, surrendering means letting the noise die down. It means I'm going to just sit within. I'm going to go within my heart and allow the universe, allow God to just hold me. And I'm not going to sit there and let my fears spiral out of control. I'm not going to participate in chaos. I'm no longer going to participate in the confusion. and I'm no longer going to participate in the struggle. So I'm just going to sit, I'm going to be, and I'm going to just hand everything over to the universe. That doesn't mean that I'm not taking responsibility for any of my actions or inactions. What it means is I'm giving myself permission to pause. And I'm telling the universe, I need support with this. I no longer want to spiral out of control, because when you are in confusion and when you are in chaos and when you are in struggle, there is this strong desire to control everything. But guess what? When you surrender, what you're doing is you're saying, I'm not going to control anything. I'm going to surrender and allow myself and give myself permission to relinquish control. Because guess what? God, divinity, universe, whatever sacred title you give that being, has a grand plan for you. And when you slow down and you go within, you will hear the answers to your prayers. And when you hear the answers to your prayers, the confusion lifts, the struggle lifts, the chaos dissipates, and you'll start to see a path illuminate before your eyes. And that can be just a simple, little tiny inspiration, a thought that all of a sudden sparks within that tells you or encourages you to start taking little tiny baby steps towards something. I'm going to read a couple of these comments in here. Let's see. Hi, one of my struggles / confusions have to deal with relationships, romantic relationships, specifically at a crossroad. I'm stuck or I don't know what to choose. That's just one thought. Thank you, Kristen, for sharing that. Another person shared, my fiance and I have been together for about 8 years, and he's the only reason I'm alive today. And what he was there for me during a time that I wouldn't have made it out alive, but I know he's not aligning with my path and where I'm trying to go. And we are not healthy for each other anymore. It's more of a trauma bond, but I don't know how to leave him behind. Ooh, that's a big one. And thank you. I think I said, how do you say your name? Jana? Janna. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Here's the thing about relationships. Sometimes people come into our life for a certain period of time and they can make a massive impact in our life. It is okay to let relationships go, even if someone's made a massive impact in our life, because sometimes they're only meant to show up for a certain period of time. And if you stay in a relationship longer than it's meant to be, what you are doing is you're denying both of yourselves the alignment that you both deserve. And relationships are complicated. Romantic relationships are complicated. And when you have a trauma bond, there can be behaviors between two people that become unhealthy. They can feel healthy in the beginning because you guys are feeling better, you're together, but eventually, if you don't do your own work on yourselves and you stay in the relationship just purely based out of guilt, what ends up happening, you both get stuck. And it's not worth it. And please note that I am not giving anybody relationship advice, and I am not a doctor or therapist. So the key to anything when it comes to relationships is you got to trust your heart, and you got to trust where and what your heart is guiding you to do. And remember, some people come into our lives for a short period of time. Some people come in for a little bit of a longer period of time. And some people are meant to stay forever. The question is it time for you to let that go? And this also is true for our own relationships with ourselves. There's aspects of us, and I teach this inside of my Akashic Record program called Sacred Awakening, where we work with the bodies. And when we're working with the bodies, these are aspects of ourselves that are stuck in the past. And because they're stuck in the past, we can create a relationship with ourselves around certain situations, certain topics, certain areas of our life, that we are operating strictly based on past experiences. And just because that worked in the past doesn't mean it works for where you're at in this moment in time and where you're going. And so we have to learn new coping mechanisms. We have to learn new healing techniques. We have to learn new ways of being in relationships with us by healing aspects of ourselves that are stuck in the past. And this goes back to this idea that we can be addicted to struggle, and we can be addicted to chaos, and we can be addicted to confusion, because this has kept us where we could be safe in the past up into the present moment, or to some degree to the present moment, because you might have outgrown something a long time ago, but you're still doing it, even if you outgrew it 2 years ago as well. Let's see. Jamie said, oh, yes, this is what I've been doing now, and it totally helps. Just wanted confirmation. I'm doing good so far. Yay, that's awesome. Ellie said, I think a lot of my struggle comes from my second guessing both myself and situations. And there are always the distractions and responsibilities of life. Yes. So let's talk about that. Some people are used to operating from a certain place because of their childhood. And I'll call this walking on eggshells. So this is where that second guessing can come in. And this is also where sometimes people pleasing can come in, because at some point in time in your life, someone made you feel like you were less than, or someone made you feel uncertain of your safety. And so we create these coping mechanisms to appease the guardians or the adults in our lives as children. And this causes people to become people pleasers as adults, because they're waiting for the something bad to happen, or waiting for, and you can fill in the blank. For me, it was oftentimes I felt like I was going to get in trouble if I made the wrong decision, and making the wrong decision had repercussions. And as an adult, I had to train myself to recognize that not everybody in my life is here to punish me. Not everyone in my life is my stepfather, and that it is okay to make mistakes, and it is okay to not be hyper vigilant and perfect. Because growing up for me, I had to act, and I had to behave in a certain way that created the sense of, if I do this, I won't get in trouble. If I anticipate an adult's move, it will be all okay. And this is where a lot of empaths are designed. I'm going to say that very specifically. So let me say that slightly different. If you are the type of person that attracts the people in your life that are usually saying, oh, I don't know why I said that to you, or, oh, I've never told anybody that before, or you make me feel so comfortable talking to you, or they usually will share all of their deepest, darkest secrets or all of their problems with you, because you have a shiny sign over your head that says, I am an empath. I will have answers for you that I don't have for myself. And this stems from childhood. It could possibly be from early adulthood as well. And that is because you had to hyper attune to your environment to predict the unpredictable adult in your life that was supposed to create safety. Let me know in the comment section if this resonates with you, if this is something that you have experienced in your life. I know for me, understanding what an empath is and how that plays into some of my nuanced behaviors has really helped me recognize unhealthy behaviors in relationships with others and myself as well. And it's super important not to be anybody else's savior. You are no one else's savior. I'm not your savior. Who is your savior? You are your savior. You are the only person that can decide how far you want to go in this lifetime, how much you want to be in your highest glory, in your highest humble power, in your most authentic self. You are that. And what teachers, mentors, coaches, healers do is they create a safe space for you to explore that. But they're not doing anything but assisting you in exploring what is possible. You are the only person that can give yourself permission to recognize your, and for lack of a better word, you can substitute this word for a different word if God is a word that you don't like, but your God-given rights and your God-given abilities, because God dwells within us. Creation dwells within us. And what created the universe created you, and you are not separate from that. And you have the ability to change anything you would like to, and how you are relating to yourself and others in your life. You can't make someone else change, but you can definitely change your perspective and your outlook and your trajectory in your life. Let's see. HSP empath is, so it's nonstop. That's from Kristen. Belinda. Yes, there is not enough knowledge to recognize and grow and change. Thank you on point. Love you. Yes, ma'am. Wonderful. And then Mr. Amazing says resonates here too. Jana sure does. At my Akashic Record reading, I was told to get the book, the Empath Toolkit or Tool Guide before for something. That's awesome. Great. Yeah. Here's the thing, guys. Like, we have so many ways to improve ourselves. The question is how serious are you about your improvement? And you can still have fun while changing your frequency, while changing your mindset, while changing your relationship with your mind, body, soul. It's so crucial to recognize you hold the keys and you get to drive the car. No one else does. Kristen said, I know walking on eggshells way too much, such a horrible feeling. And I was a massive people pleaser. I was always waiting for the rug to get swept out from beneath my feet. Yeah. And that's an awful feeling. It's a very awful feeling. And if those words don't resonate with you, there could just be this like underlining feeling like something's wrong and you can't pinpoint why. And sometimes people can't identify it as walking on eggshells. It's just like there's something off, there's something wrong. I'm not sure why, but they feel unsettled in their heart or in their body or in their soul. And here's the thing. We have been gifted with this opportunity to have this human experience. As a soul having the human experience, it's complicated. It's a beautiful mess. It really is such a beautiful mess. And there is order in chaos. if we give ourselves permission to surrender. And what is true for me may not be true for you. And so it's really important to not compare your experiences and not compare if something isn't working for you, but it worked for someone else, and then feel bad about it. The key is to find all the things that do work for you and thank the things that don't, because what it's telling you is there's something else for you to go and look at, to have a different support system with. Or if it's not working, to get curious around where you might be resisting it to work for you. Because sometimes when someone is addicted to chaos or addicted to things just not working out, or confusion, or struggle, there is that subconscious belief that this isn't going to work for me. This isn't going to work at all. And for me, I've been working a lot on my physical health, and it's been really interesting to observe when I have a mindset shift that like feels like a completely different vibration. And I personally have struggled with autoimmune stuff pretty much my whole life. And when I have a mindset shift, I automatically feel that there is a difference, because I can feel that I'm showing up differently for myself. This may be different for you, but paying attention to the mind and how the mind is reacting to the struggle or to the confusion and what those thoughts are can be extremely, extremely helpful. Want to just share a couple things before we hop off. If you are interested in joining us in the next live experience, we're going to be doing a Friday the 13th goddess moon celebration. I'm really excited about this. Friday the 13th can be a very, very lucky, ominous day for us. And so I'm going to share a little bit about what that means and what that looks like next week at 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Pacific. I hope to see you there, or we will upload it to the podcasting streaming platforms right away as well. So if you are a regular listener to Awakening with Amy Robeson, we release a new episode every Monday, and then we release that video episode on Tuesdays, and we're going to be releasing a second episode a week. That's going to be the live, and the live is going to be a different theme every single week. And if we have something going on like free masterclass series or something like that, the masterclass series will take over for the live experience. So very excited about that. We also have the fall equinox coming up. And if you're interested, we have a flash sale going on our animal spirit guides series. So if you're interested in working with your animal spirit guides and connecting with your animal spirit guides, we have a flash sale going on till September 15th, and you'll get connected to the animal spirit guide that wants to work with you. There's a really cool activation, and there's also a chakra animal spirit guides activation as well as a bonus. So if you're interested in that, we'll put it in the show notes. We'll also put it in the show description, and we'll also leave it in the comment section as well. So if you're interested in that, go to theamyrobeson.com/courses, and then you can click on the Animal Spirit Guides course and check out the flash sale on that. I'm very excited about it because we just did the Soul Evolution Masterclass series, and there were so many animal spirit guides that showed up during that series. And there has been tons of animal spirit guides that have been showing up. So if you're interested in that, take a look at it. it's really fun. I love it. I love it. I love it as well. Okay, let me read a couple comments and then we are going to jump off. Ellie said, "Love the podcast. I've been. Why am I having a hard time reading this? I've been from the start, and I'm almost caught up. Oh, listening from the start. So much stuff that resonates. Yay! Awesome. I should probably wear my glasses while I'm on here." uh, Divine spiritual Sag. I have been mentoring a few ladies. I try not to be so hard on them due to me knowing that they will shut down. How do you just tell them straightforward? You know, it's interesting. Coaching people, being a life coach, certified life coach, and doing mentorship for so long. You can't make someone do something that they don't want to do. You can always lead a horse to water, and it's up to the horse to drink. And when it comes to doing the spiritual work, even through a podcast, I can't make you do any of the suggestions. I can't make you think differently. I can't make you take action. It's totally up to the person to decide that they are ready. It's similar to addiction as well. And when you look at addiction, and we've used that word throughout this episode, we've used that word, addicted to struggle, addicted to confusion, addicted to chaos. Oftentimes, and I have someone that I love that said this to me, and it's like, it's mind-boggling to me, but it just tells somebody where their head is at. When someone hears addiction, they instantly sometimes think, not everybody, but some people do, sometimes think that addiction means substance abuse, that you're an alcoholic or you're doing drugs. No, you can be a highly functioning adult that's super addicted to work. Does that mean it's healthy? Absolutely not. You could be addicted to being a people pleaser. Is that healthy? Absolutely not. You could be addicted to chaos, where you're constantly waiting for something to cause you to be out of your mind, or not feel good, or constantly looking for something that's going to happen next. That can be an addiction. And when that addiction is there, no matter what the addiction is, the person has to hit rock bottom in order to decide that they are worthy enough to have a different experience. Depending on what it is that we're working on, or you're working on, or what I'm working on, might be super easy to overcome it and not hard at all to work on it. But if it's been ingrained since your childhood, or it's been ingrained over multiple timelines, over multiple lives that you've experienced, or it's been ingrained in your ancestral lineage, it's going to take a little bit more time than just simply stating, I'm not doing that anymore. Some people, that works for something that's not super ingrained in the DNA, but for other people, when it's an ingrained belief system, it's an ingrained patterning in the nervous system and in the brain, it takes some time. And that's where the surrender is key, because I know for me, oftentimes I might want something, but it might take me a lot longer to get that thing that I want, because I have to work through 10 things to clear the pattern totally from my nervous system, from my bodies, and from my subconscious, so that it totally is cleared. And then other times where I might be working on something, I do something to fix it, and it maybe take me a day, maybe a week, maybe an hour, just depends on what it is. And it's done, it's complete. All depends on what it is. The key is to not get discouraged, to keep doing your work, keep showing up for yourself, because the more you show up for yourself, the more you'll have a better understanding of yourself. The more you have a better understanding of yourself, it will allow you to stay curious. It will allow you to have a self-discovery, and you'll get to change your life on your terms. And it's such a beautiful thing to, one, experience, because you get to experience it, but it's also really beautiful to witness it around you and others as well, because while you're changing, your relationships and the landscape of your life is changing as well. And some people will leave and some people will come into your life that will just be an amazing addition to your soul's trajectory, because that is the type of frequency that you are attracting. And I'm saying frequencies with an S, because we attract frequencies. We are frequency, we are energy. And when we vibrate at a certain vibration, we attract those same vibrations. When we start raising our frequency and changing our consciousness and raising our consciousness, we start attracting more people that are higher level conscious and are at a higher level frequency. And it's really beautiful to witness. It truly, truly is. So I hope this has been very helpful. If you would like to leave a comment, leave a review, please do that. Share this with a friend. I will see you next week on our live show on Friday the 13th at noon Eastern. If you are not signed up for our email list, sign up for our email list so you don't miss out on notifications when we're going live. And you can just simply sign up by going to theamyrobeson.com, and sign up for our free sacred gifts, and you'll get 20 plus free healings. Plus, you'll get notified when we have a live show, when we have a regular show, and whenever we have special free events going on as well. So I hope to see you in the next one, and I can't wait for us to celebrate the sacred feminine energy next week. So take care. Bye. Have a good day.